you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
I'm Chris Voss here from theCrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the Iron Lady sings that makes it official. Welcome to 16 years of the Chris Voss Show. My back hurts, and over 2,200 episodes as well. Refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss won the TikTokity and all those crazy places on the internet. Years ago, I'd heard about Larry Dean Stewart. He was considered the original Secret Santa. He was a philanthropist who anonymously gave gifts to people in need during the Christmas season. And he was fired from his job in 1979. He felt sorry for himself, and he noticed a waitress in a thin jacket. He decided to change his perspective in being a victim to being grateful and giving. And it's amazing what happens when you make that difference in your life. So he began handing out $100 bills to people on the streets in December. And he did that for over 20 years, even keeping himself anonymous. He did other donations, but he kept his identity secret until he revealed himself as a Secret Santa when he had cancer and he wanted to inspire others. So I've always been inspired by these folks that play anonymous sort of Secret Santa. They go around and hand out goodwill and cheer, and God knows we sure need it. And right now, just a point of reference for you watching on YouTube at any given time in the next 20 years, it's December, the beginning of December of 2024. So the other day I was driving at night, I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I saw this pickup truck covered, literally covered. There'll be a picture on the site with Christmas lights, a Santa, I think a Santa doll or stuffed Santa in the passenger seat, and I was like, I bet this is a Secret Santa guy. I didn't know for sure, but I'm like, I want to at least take a picture of this vehicle because it's kind of cool. And it's not something you see every day. And so maybe this should become a thing. But so I waited until he pulled over, and he had stopped at a dry cleaning place where there was a homeless person out front, and he got out to deliver his cheer, and I got a chance to meet him, invite him on the show, and see if we can inspire some holiday spirit here on the thing. So today we have Ryan Larson on the show with us today. I was going to originally have him on anonymously, but he says it's cool if we give his identity. Welcome to the show, Ryan. How are you?
Thank you. Great, Chris. It's great to be on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's wonderful to have you as well. And boy, this is a time where, politics are hard on people. Life is hard on people. Bills are hard on people. We're all kind of struggling these days. Post-COVID, I think we're still trying to find our footing. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Kind of give us a 30,000 overview, I guess, of what you do as a Secret Santa.
It's interesting you say secret. It's not so secret because people in my neighborhood know about it.
Oh,
so they know who I am. It's because they see the truck and then they want to talk to me. Mm-hmm. But regardless, about 5 years ago, I bought a truck from one of my neighbors, and it's my white truck. It's a 1996. It's the engine's in great shape. The body is in bad shape. So I thought, what can I do with this truck? What can I do with this truck? It's a great utility truck. And I love Christmas. I really do. I really like the Christmas season. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love any kind of season where we can celebrate. I thought, what can I do with my truck? And then I thought like a Christmas tree, we set up Christmas trees every year, or those who celebrate the season, can do that. Mm-hmm. I thought, why not set up my Christmas truck, call it a Christmas truck, set it up, do what I can to it to light the thing up and give it a new life. Yeah. And so I started doing that. I got to be honest with you, Chris, I was a little bit nervous at first because I know the letter of the law is that you don't have lights on the outside of your vehicle, especially blue and red, because those are considered emergency lights, right?
Yeah.
So there's more stories there, but at the time I was a little bit nervous. Should I try and do it? Should I do it? Am I going to get in trouble? And then I thought the smiles went out. So there we go.
So tell us about how you're raised. How did you fall in love with Christmas? What inspired you to be a giver? And what are you doing when you're out there roaming around that truck?
Yeah, so I've always loved Christmas. My parents, growing up in Southern California, made it a great time. It was always family time. Grandparents would come around. I always looked for them when they came, waiting for them to come on the day that they were driving down from Utah. Oh. And I just always enjoyed the Christmas season, the lights, the people, the activities. And yes, as you know, the gifts, the presents, receiving those is good. As I've gotten older, I've realized it's just as much fun, if not more fun, to give something than as it is to receive. Mm-hmm. So what can I give? Now, I don't make it a point to give money. We can do that. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, sure.
But one of the greatest things I experience, I take the truck out a couple, 3 times, 3 nights a week. Mm-hmm. Just go driving around. And that's where you saw me. You caught me that one night and we had a good time. I just like to help people smile. So it's amazing, especially if you go into a Costco or a Walmart or a Target parking lot and you see the kids coming out with their parents. If you drive by and the kids just, it's crazy. It's crazy good. And it helps me feel good because I see their smiles. Yeah. And as you mentioned previously, we've got a lot of reasons potentially not to smile. Yeah. I'm just trying to give one more reason to smile.
We need as many reasons as we can get in this world, I think, at this point. Yeah. And the truck is so joyous. There'll be a picture on the Chris Voss Show website where you can see the picture of the truck. Yeah. And I think in the final video, it will be in the middle of the thing so we can kind of show it. But it had the Santa Claus guy in it.
It's got a light up soon.
Has anybody given you a hard time? Is the police, really, anybody?
Actually, so, yeah. Here's the story. I've had a few police officers from their cars as I go by. I have to make a decision because I can turn it off. They've probably already seen me, but I could unplug it, turn it off.
Yeah.
So I was approaching a main intersection here last year. There was a big accident. A lot of cops were around because they were facilitating emergency services with the medical personnel. And I was probably a mile away, and I saw this thing coming up. I thought, okay. Do I just get scared and fearful and turn them off so that I can get through the intersection or get around it without being seen? Uh-huh. And I thought, no, we got to do it. We got to see what's going to go on. We got to have, if anything, these people needed a little bit of smile while they were dealing with this massive accident. So I ended up driving up to and eventually through the accident area. Hmm. Thankfully, I didn't cause it. But this police officer noticed me, obviously, and she started walking towards me. And then I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to get my first ticket. And she came up, she said, roll down your window, sir, like this kind of thing. Uh-huh. And I did. And she said, can I take a picture?
That is awesome.
She might have taken a picture to see who I was so that if they needed that in the future, they could use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. But I got through the intersection. She took a picture. We had a good time, and she gave me some, a slap on the back, so to speak. But it was nice to recognize that yes, our law enforcement officers are upholding the law, and they also see the intent, the spirit of what the truck is about.
Yeah. And that's awesome. So I think you had some candy canes or something you were handing out when I met you.
Yeah. What I'll do is sometimes I take people out in the back and they do some singing, caroling. We go into the parking lots and they do some caroling. I wasn't doing that night. You caught me. Yep. But I've got candy canes and candy that I get out. And again, I'm very careful. I need to be respectful of families and the kids and not make sure I'm not a stranger danger.
Yeah, stranger danger.
So when I get out, when I get out of the truck, I'll take an open thing of wrapped candies with me. Mm-hmm. And I'll just go up to the parents and say, hey, is it okay if I share some candy with your family?
Oh, yeah.
And in the spirit of the season. And I haven't had anybody say no yet.
That is awesome. And the cool thing is if they say no, then the parent's the bad guy. So you're like, your kids are your parents are awful kids. Sorry, they hate you clearly. Just throw it back. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. And you've been doing this for how long?
5 years.
5 years, man. You really.
It started with a car. Yeah, it started with a car, and then it transitioned to a truck because the truck's got more personality.
Wow. That is awesome. Yeah, it's I saw it and like right away I go, I bet that dude's going around spreading cheer, and that, or I have different lights on my car. They're all black, and I just spread misery. But that's for other. That's for.
We got to change it, Chris.
That's
we
January
change
through
it.
November. You could just paint it like a giant turkey over Thanksgiving, maybe. I don't know, but you got enough going on there.
Yeah,
but
I try to add to it every year as well. So there's got to be a little added over time.
And I imagine it must. I mean, do you have a wife and kids?
Yeah, I'm married and have 4 children. My wife actually doesn't like to come out with me in the truck because she doesn't like the truck.
She doesn't want to be seen in your beat up truck. I didn't even notice there was anything wrong, like with the bed. I didn't see any dents, so I don't know.
It's a great truck. It's got new life. It's a great truck. No, but my kids, in fact, my daughter took my car out. The first 2 years I did it in the car, and she took the car out, actually, and she did get pulled over by a police officer. So
he's probably
maybe it was because she was younger. Yeah, who knows? But no, they love it. They love it, and they just sort of shake their head, and it's Dad's going off again.
So you usually go out 3 to 4 times in the evening. Do you usually hit certain places? So if somebody's listening to this broadcast and they maybe want to do the same thing, maybe as an anonymous Secret Santa or just go around like you are, what's the blueprint? Do you go to certain places? Do you look for homeless people? Do you look for...
All of the above, any and all of the above. So what I'll do... The best place to have a lot of people see it is main intersections, main city roads. I'll certainly go into the parking lots because that's where I find the children, obviously, that are coming out with their parents, and I have an opportunity to stop and interact a minute or two. Some people like to stop me, like yourself, and say, "Hey, what's going on? How'd you do that?" So I recommend just a lot of thoroughfare. Wherever the traffic is, that's where you want to be, because then you get more smiles. You get more people smiling. They'll take video. And I'm okay. I mean, I'm not obviously anonymous on this show. That's fine. But it's nice because when I'm out in the truck, they're not focusing on me. It's not me. I'm just driving, right? It's the Santa and the lights, because they don't often see that. Up until this year, I hadn't seen any other car in this area with lights on it like I do. Just in the last week, I've seen 2 cars now in this area, which is fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we need more people spreading cheer, and that's the reason I wanted to have you on the podcast, to give people some good ideas and stuff. Do you have a truck that's got some dents in it? Put some lights on it, and that'll fix it all. Yeah, absolutely. And I like how you have the Santa in the passenger seat. I think that really makes it obvious to people. Okay, he's not out here serial killing people or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
That or I don't know. Somebody's going to get an idea of that. Don't do that, folks. But spreading cheer. So do you usually thank people? You usually say, "Hey, How do you introduce yourself to people?
I actually don't. When I go up to people and I just say I have that candy jar in my hand, and I just say, "Hey, I'd love to share some Christmas candy. Is it okay if I share some with you?" And I don't say anything. That's it. That's all. And they laugh. The kids are pointing and smiling, and everybody seems to be having a good time.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good. If we could have more people do this and spread cheer, and I think there used to be more of this sort of cheerful thing around Christmas and the holidays. Didn't it seem like there was more cheer back in, I don't know, when you and I were kids? I don't know. Maybe I'm just... Yeah,
I would... Maybe, but I'm trying to change that a little bit if it does exist.
Yeah, it seems like that cheer's been lost though from when we were younger. It doesn't seem like the holidays. Nowadays the holidays are so about what you can buy on Amazon, and people are focused on what they can get. Black Friday. It's really marketing. They're in the malls, but I remember when I was a kid, you really look forward to sitting on Santa's lap. You look forward to that sort of thing. Now when if I go to the mall and see Santa there, I see the long line. I'm like, that looks like hell. And my Christmas cheer just goes right out the window. And my mom, she likes to keep she doesn't turn all the lights on, but she likes to keep her Christmas stuff around all year. I know people that they keep their stuff around all year. They just love the feeling that it gives them. It's such a great time of the year, and it's a great time for gratitude and just being happy, And so I just think it's inspiring.
Thank you. But I can honestly say I probably get as much or more out of it as anybody that sees the truck does, quite honestly. I mean, if you think back and think, okay, the times when I felt the best, some of those times were when I saw somebody else or helped somebody else or encouraged or invited, right? Someone else. It's something outside of me. So by the time I get done driving around for a couple hours on a night, and I feel pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good.
You know, there's something about giving back. There's stories I've told in my lifetime where, you know, one time I was waiting for a bunch of money to come in from our clients, and for some reason it just wasn't showing up. Like, it was just, you know, normally there'd be a good pace of checks for us. And I was down to like my last $20 or something. And I remember seeing a guy, this was in Las Vegas, and he was behind the 7-Eleven, or beside it, I think, to the one side of it. And I just thought it was so interesting. He had a shopping cart with a bunch of his gear in there for living on the streets, but he was reading the paper. And it just kind of struck me. I mean, he was like reading he had the think paper open, he was reading it. And I'm like, you know, this guy may not be full, maybe, you know, homeless, maybe crazy, you know, I don't know. He sounds like maybe he's intelligent, and maybe he's down on his luck or something. I don't know, but he's reading the paper, and something just impressed me to give him that $20 that I had, and I'm like, and there was just like this thing that was like, everything will work out, and I'm like, God, I don't know if we're getting money tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen, and I did. And I felt really good about it. He was really happy and seemed really pleased. And then I went off, and I felt really great by doing a good thing. But I'm like, I don't know if I hope I just gave away my last $20. And the next day, my mailbox that all of our bills invoices get paid in was just filled with all of our checks. And I was like, wow, that was amazing. And it's not that there's, causation, whatever, you know, it's not that it was a direct reward or something like that, but, you know, just sometimes in the darkest of moments, you know, I've gone through a couple cathartic times where, you know, something's happened that's been very depressing, or a crisis situation, loss of, you know, 2008, we lost all of our companies to the mortgage crisis and everything. And I've always found that sometimes when I'm in those moments where I'm losing everything, sometimes it's the best time to just quit fighting all this stuff and just learn to give and go figure out where you can be of service. You know, I mean, this podcast is a product of that. For the first 10 years, 12 years or something, we were a podcast that was just Silicon Valley, iPhones, Apple, Google, you know, lots of reviews, and, you know, just talking about shit that, I mean, really doesn't matter when it comes down to it, when it comes to life and death. And so that was us for the first 10 years. And it was kind of, you know, it was interesting. I loved it. But 2020 came and so did COVID. You may have remembered that. And I had probably hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gigs that we had lined up. We built a client base over 3 to 5 years of going to events like Consumer Electronics Show, South by Southwest, NAB Show, all these different shows that we would go to, and we would take the podcast out and interview CEOs and do all this stuff, and there was a whole monetization thing wrapped around it. And we built that over 5 years, and it was just peaking and just hitting its full stride. And so with COVID, they shut down all the events, right? And so just event after event, punch cut after punch cut, I watch these events close, and I just watch money evaporate, guaranteed money evaporate. And I just was like, oh my God, we're living in 2008 again. This is horrible. What are we going to do? And I fell into depression because I was like, oh my God, I just rebuilt from 2008. We're going to do this again? And my buddy on Facebook, my good friend Robert Scoble, he posted a line. He goes, here's what you do right now, because things are going to shit. He goes, you either find a lifter or you be a lifter. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, okay. So I sat down, I go, I don't really want someone to lead me. I'm kind of a leader sort of thing. So I said, what assets do I have? What can I use to help people? How can I be a lifter? I wasn't even sure I could be a lifter. And if you go back and listen to those first episodes that I'm trying to lift, You can hear the emotion and stuff where I'm not even sure what I'm telling people is probably the thing to do, but you just kind of fake it till you make it. And so we changed the format of the show to where it wasn't about Silicon Valley anymore and stupid fucking phones, whatever. So, it became, I said, let's have everybody on. We're going to have people on that inspire us, that tell us their stories, that all the book authors from all the different walks of life. You only had CEOs and business people on before that. And so I said, we're going to talk about stuff that fucking matters for a change, because all this stuff really doesn't matter. So we're going to try and figure out how to make a lot of people's lives better. We're going to talk about everything and anything and just whatever can uplift people. I'm going to be a lifter. And that changed the format of the show in 2020, and it rocket shipped the viewership of the show, because not only was everyone staying at home, they were looking for a lifter. And it's one of the greatest things I ever did, because I love the show now more than ever, because it's, we're not talking about, some jerk-off stuff, self-jerk-off stuff where we're like, oh, let's talk about business, I mean, we do talk about that on the show, but we talk about stuff that matters. People share their stories, how they, we're not alone, their cathartic moments. And then we have you on the show, so that we got that going on.
I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
It's something that I can do and I can enjoy doing. There's a saying, lift where you stand. So regardless of where I'm at, or what I'm doing or who I am at any given moment, not that I like to change personalities, but regardless of that, I lift where I stand. So this is an opportunity for me to lift where I drive.
Love it. I love it. Anything more that you want to share with us as you go out? Anything more? What would you tell people that maybe are thinking about doing this? Maybe they're listening to it and thinking, I wonder if I could pull this off. Anything
do it.
You want to
so
just do it.
I didn't know if I could do it. I was thinking, okay, how do I wrap the truck so I can still get into and out of it? How do I make sure I have battery with enough power? I'm using LEDs, so everything's fine. It's not going to draw much power. But ultimately, I think for me, it was overcoming that uncertainty of if I should do it and if I get caught doing it. Once I overcame that initial fear of both of those things, can I really do this? Should I do this? Will it matter? Here we are 5 years later, and it matters. It matters to me, and it matters to those who see the truck and smile.
Yeah. Spread joy and cheer, because it beats spreading, herpes.
Anything else?
We got to do the jokes here. Yeah, I'm just proud of what you do. I think guys like you can share magic. I've never been one of those people who can go in and see people suffer. There's a lot of the stars or NFL players that will go into those hospitals and stuff to see those kids. And I don't know that I would be able to hold up. I'd probably break down and cry seeing people in that sort of thing. And so people like you who can spread the joy and go out there, and you're giving away your personal time. You're giving away your personal time away from your family. You're giving away, but maybe you don't like them. Anyway, I'm just kidding. That's what I do with my family. I'm trying to get away from them at all possible times.
When's Dad going out in the truck again? Get rid of him.
Get rid of him. Just make sure we got him in the life insurance policy.
That's right.
And some bail money in case they pull him over for the red and white lights. But no, it's. I would hope more people would do this. I would hope it would be a thing that would catch on. Maybe we can create a fad.
I hope so.
What'd be really cool is if you turn this into a TikTok channel. You're probably not on TikTok, right?
I'm not, but maybe I should be.
Maybe you should be. So on TikTok, they have people that do stuff, and they go around and do it. Sometimes people see things like this as well. He's doing it while he's on camera, sort of thing. It's not really. He's doing it for his own promotional purposes. But to me, I think just spreading the word, spreading the magic. I remember when I read about the Secret Santa, the original one, I was like, wow, I want to do that someday. But I just don't like people that much.
I find that hard to believe, Chris.
I love people. That's why we have them on the show. They have their stories, their journeys, their life. It's always interesting to me the different ways people have gotten through life, how they've overcome their cathartic moments and challenges. And not everyone's got a different story, and stories are the owner's manual to life. That's how we learn.
I got to ask you a question, Chris. One question: have you ever seen a Christmas vehicle, truck or auto, in Las Vegas? Have you ever seen one driving around?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure.
The City of Light, isn't that like the city of entertainment, the capital of the world, all that kind of good stuff? Shouldn't they do something?
Yeah.
So my invitation is for anybody to do it. Just do it. Put some lights on your vehicle. Recognize that you got to use some painter's tape or something that's going to keep the lights on. I've got you can email me if Chris, if you want to share my email with
okay.
And please feel free to do so.
Right.
You can email me. I'll give you some pointers. But I'm just inviting anyone out there who's listening and would like to, or watches this down the road, give it a shot. Give it a shot and see how many people smile at you.
Yeah. It's the lives that you change. There's a couple different charitable projects that I do. And sometimes I get frustrated doing them. Sometimes they're hard to put together in their work. And sometimes I don't feel appreciated. And sometimes it just, I'm busy. So trying to squeeze in charity is a little bit harder to pull off. I guess I should just be writing a check. But when I see the smiles, when I see the photos, when I get everybody together, and sometimes I'll look around a room and I'll see all the people engaging, all other people telling me the stories about how they made friends that they probably will last them a lifetime. Maybe they met someone they're going to spend a lifetime with as a partner. And I'll see the smiles and I go, yeah, this is worth it. Yeah, this is the money right here. Making a difference in people's life. There's what's the old saying about, you try and make a difference in this world so that, I don't know if people remember me, but maybe they'll remember the things I did in some small way. But yeah, just seeing the smiles, seeing people happy, and realizing that when I was in their place and I didn't have anybody organize stuff like I did, it was pretty depressing and lonely. And so giving them a vehicle to do that, yeah, there's something rich about it. And it's a complete fucking money loser, and it takes up all my time. Sometimes you feel a little, oh man, why me? But when you see the smiles and you go, this is worth everything. Yeah, it makes all the difference. Ryan, it's been wonderful having the show. Final thoughts as we go out. And if you want, just give people your email if you want to just tell it to people, and we'll put it on the show.
Yeah, put on the show. My email is christmastruckutah@gmail.com. So feel free to email me. I'd love to help answer questions or just share the experience a little bit more with you. I'm happy to do that.
We need more Secret Santas in this world. Everybody just be a Secret Santa. We'll go around and give candy canes. Fuck jobs. Yeah. Just quit your job. We'll all quit our jobs tomorrow. We'll just all go around and hand out candy and stuff. But, I think it's good for the kids to see that too.
Yeah,
I think that makes a difference, seeing the giving, and what a powerful lesson for them. So you're inspiring a whole new generation of people that I lost hope in a long time ago. Anyway.
Thank you. And it's nice. It's nice to see the adults smiling too. They're almost as quick to smile as the kids are when it comes to a Christmas truck. Truly.
I can imagine, my mom, we used to drive our mom crazy when I went to the this Ralph's, the little California grocery store. We'd be driving her crazy with all the requests, and she's just trying to shop and navigate us, and it was never really all that fun for her. And so I can imagine, you come out of the store with a bunch of kids, and you see some cheer and joy. It definitely puts some smile on a face.
Fantastic. Yep.
Congratulations. Thank you for everything you do. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I just was so inspired by it. And I was like, I got to have this guy on the show. And I asked our big Utah group, I'm like, if you find any more people, we're trying to get these folks on the show. We want at least, 5 more people doing it or something. I don't know.
The more the merrier. Like I said, I've seen 2 more this year, or 2 this year that I hadn't seen before. So it's happening.
And plus, I should say, you don't need a truck. You don't need to drive around if you don't want to. Just take in a set of candy canes to the office, pass them around, put up some mistletoe, give out some kisses. No, don't do that. HR will be after you.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Yeah, it might be bad. No back rubs. No back rubs. Can't do that anymore either. But no, I mean, there's all sorts of ways we can probably find a way to make a difference and bring some cheer. Maybe when you go get a haircut, take some candy canes to everybody there and pass them out. It doesn't take all that much to be kind. That's the great thing about being kind. But like I always say, it's free to be an asshole too. So Don't do it. Anyway.
No, might as well not. Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. Keep the inspiration going.
You, Chris.
And make the world a better place. I'm sure that people are just love you for it. And it's a great example you're setting for your children, too. And your wife is probably just happy just to get you out of her hair for a while so that she can.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thanks to our audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, and all those crazy places. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.